Hey, how's it going? You know, if you like and subscribe to the Less is More Sports YouTube channel and you get a notification midweek and it's a video of just me, you know you're about to hear some crazy shit. So get ready for one of Les's midweek hot takes. Most NFL fans will tell you that the quarterbacks with the biggest reputation for being regular season quarterbacks but choking in the postseason are Peyton Manning and Aaron Rodgers. Although both have had their fair share of ups and downs to earn that reputation, there's one name that I think often gets a pass in that category, and I don't know why. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Taking away names and narratives, I'm going to give you all three quarterbacks. Just call them quarterbacks A, B, and C. Quarterback A has missed the playoffs twice, has a 14-13 playoff record, 2 Super Bowls, and 1 Super Bowl MVP. Quarterback B missed the playoffs 3 times, a 12-10 playoff record, 1 Super Bowl, and 1 Super Bowl MVP. Now for the last one. Quarterback C has missed the playoffs 9 times, a 9-9 playoff record, 1 Super Bowl, 1 Super Bowl MVP. Most of you all would tell me that quarterback C has been the worst in the postseason outside of the other two. Or other than the other two. Or he's been worse altogether. Let's just call it what it is. But now that we put names behind those guys, let's take a look. Quarterback A is Peyton Manning. Quarterback B is Aaron Rodgers. And quarterback C is none other than Drew Brees. So this begs a very important next question. Why do we give Drew Brees a pass? Why don't we criticize him as being a playoff choker like we do the other two? Do we expect more from Manning and Rodgers? Well, if we go by MVPs, I could understand. Peyton has an NFL record is a 5-time MVP. Rodgers is right on his tail with 4. Although Brees has 0 MVPs, I still don't think that's a strong enough foundation to give him a pass for his playoff woes. A big argument that I've heard in the past is that Brees was on teams with terrible defenses, so it was tough to get him into the playoffs in the first place. That's fair, except one thing. A, the Chargers, who he also missed the playoffs with, not just the Saints, had great defenses. B, as said on a previous podcast, Peyton Manning has the highest win percentage differential when he plays versus when he doesn't, meaning Manning often took teams to the playoffs that couldn't win without him. Rodgers, although not as drastic as Manning in that department, not much different. So both Manning and Rodgers had to often put their teams on the back and push them into the playoffs, even though they might have not had always the most well-constructed roster around them. Had to be careful because I know people are going to come to the comment section and say, well, what about Peyton playing with Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne, or Aaron Rodgers playing with Greg Jennings and Devontae Adams? Okay, that's great. Those are great players, absolutely. But what could those great players do when Peyton didn't play and Rodgers didn't play? Exactly. But back to Brees, it's also worth noting that the Saints in games that Drew Brees would miss during his tenure would go 10-0. His first year post-retirement, they went 5-2 before an injury to Jameis Winston. So this begs the next question. Is it because we haven't seen Brees in the playoffs enough? Both Manning and Rodgers have more playoff games, but are often criticized for their early playoff exits. But remember, I took a poll a while back on the social media pages, and I asked you all which was worse, to get to the playoffs and lose early, or miss the playoffs altogether. The majority ruled that it is worse to miss the playoffs altogether, and Brees has more than Rodgers and Manning combined. But however, let's all come full circle with it and get back to the expectation side of it. When Drew Brees was on the cusp of breaking, at the time, Peyton Manning's career passing records, there was a narrative going around that he may be the real quarterback GOAT instead of Tom Brady, due to the Star Wars-like numbers, tribute to Jim Irsay's statement, that he would put up. Of course, I have to add that it took him much more games and or attempts to pass Manning in each category. So that also goes to show that Drew Brees has had at times the clear-cut same expectations of Manning and Rodgers of being the quarterbacks to challenge Tom Brady in their era for that GOAT title. So, in conclusion, Drew Brees is without question a first ballot Hall of Famer who had an amazing career. However, when I hear that Manning and Rodgers can never be in the GOAT conversation because of their playoff woes, I can't help but to ask why we don't hold Drew Brees to the same standard, especially if he is considered one of the greatest to ever play and there was ever a narrative that he was indeed the real quarterback GOAT. So let me know what you all think. Do you all think Drew Brees is a playoff choker? Or do you think this is just another one of my crazy midweek hot takes that you would just click on to see what kind of crazy information I'm spouting out now? Like and comment, like and subscribe to the Less is More Sports YouTube channel for more content like this. Like Less is More Sports on Facebook and Twitter. And for full-length episodes, do all of the things above that I mentioned before and subscribe to the Spotify and Anchor channels for audio only. But until next time, it's your host, Les Abbott. I can't wait to do the next episode with Matt, but that is all the time I have for today.